Welcome to the fascinating world of rare and valuable UK coins. While many coins hold historical significance and collector appeal, only a select few reach extraordinary values due to rarity, minting errors, or precious metal content. If you're searching for a hidden treasure, proper research and authentication are key. Explore the world of numismatics with us and uncover the stories behind Britain's most sought-after coins. Welcome to the fascinating world of rare and valuable UK coins. While many coins hold historical significance and collector appeal, only a select few reach extraordinary values due to rarity, minting errors, or precious metal content. If you're searching for a hidden treasure, proper research and authentication are key. Explore the world of numismatics with us and uncover the stories behind Britain's most sought-after coins. Let's take a deep dive into the mythical concept of a UK 20 euro cent coin dated 2000, a coin that, despite all odds, is whispered about in collector circles as a millionaire maker. Right away, it's important to state that the United Kingdom is not part of the Eurozone and never officially adopted the euro as such. Any coin bearing a euro denomination and connected to the UK would not be an official circulating coin. But this is exactly what makes such a coin so fascinating and potentially valuable, especially if it was part of a private mintage, test strike, or a fantasy issue intended for collectors. In the rare coin market, it's the impossibilities that often carry the highest price tags. Imagine holding a coin that bridges to economic giants, the British pound and the European euro in one small metallic masterpiece. The idea of a 20 euro cent coin carrying British symbolism, perhaps the royal effigy of Queen Elizabeth II on one side and euro stars, or a dual denomination on the other, creates instant buzz. This coin would stand as a representation of what never came to be. Britain adopting the euro, and collectors love such what-if scenarios. This blend of historical speculation and rare numismatic design elevates it from a simple token to a once-in-a-lifetime collector's prize. If such a coin were minted in 2000, it would have been during the period when the euro was being introduced across much of Europe, but just before euro coins went into full circulation in 2002. A UK-themed fantasy euro sent from that period would be rare by nature, possibly produced by a private mint, numismatic institution, or even as a design proposal. With extremely limited mintage, perhaps fewer than 50 specimens, the scarcity factor alone would make it skyrocket in value. Collectors often pay a premium not just for rarity, but for symbolism and timing, both of which this coin would have in abundance. The specifications of this theoretical UK 20 euro cent coin would be critical in determining its value. If struck in common materials like copper nickel, it might hold value as a novelty or collector's piece. But if produced in gold, silver, or even platinum, it would carry intrinsic value that makes it a genuine asset. A diameter of approximately 22.25 millimeters and a weight close to 5.74 grams matching the real euro 20 cent would be expected. Still, the real excitement comes from its design. A two-tone or high-relief strike, perhaps even proof finish with mirror-like fields, would make it irresistible to high-end collectors. Now imagine the coin featuring inscriptions that never saw the light of day, United Kingdom of Europe 2000, or euro-pound transition tribute, phrases that blur the line between reality and fantasy. If the coin carries a high-grade minting finish, the details would include micro-engraved security features, edge inscriptions, and precision sculpting of Britannia or the Queen. These details would place it on the level of royal commemoratives and make it suitable for inclusion in museum-quality private collections or elite investment portfolios. In recent years, collectors have paid millions for coins that were never officially circulated, like pattern coins, trial strikes, or withdrawn issues. If this UK 20 euro cent coin from 2000 is such a piece, it's authenticated by PCGS or NGC with a grade of proof 70 or MS70, it would be near perfect, and near perfect coins break records. Imagine a coin like this going to auction at Sotheby's or Heritage, where millionaire and billionaire collectors compete not just for the coin, but for the story, the symbolism, and the bragging rights of owning a piece of numismatic legend. The value of such a coin isn't only in its metal or its age, it's in its narrative. It tells a story of economic decisions, of a nation at a crossroads, and of what might have been if the UK had joined the Eurozone. Owning it is like owning an alternate timeline, a tangible, pocket-sized relic of an imaginary future. And in the high-stakes world of rare coin auctions, where emotion and storytelling often drive price more than logic, that story could easily turn into millions. What's more, the aura of mystery surrounding such a coin only fuels its market demand. If just one example is photographed in a private collection or shown in a numismatic exhibition, whispers would spread across coin forums and collecting circles worldwide. Collectors from Europe, the Middle East, and Asia would line up with offers far beyond market expectations, especially if it's believed that only one or two of these coins exist globally. Scarcity combined with intrigue always turns up the heat in the world of rare collectibles. In conclusion, whether the UK 20 euro cent from 2000 is an official piece, a fantasy issue, or a private prototype, its perceived value lies in its extreme rarity, bold design, historical symbolism, and its potential to rewrite what we thought we knew about British coinage. If one exists in pristine condition and comes with authentication and documented provenance, it could fetch not thousands but millions on the open market. It wouldn't just be a coin, it would be a golden key to overnight wealth, wrapped in metal and mystery. The idea of a UK 20 euro cent coin from 2001 immediately stirs curiosity, especially for seasoned collectors and investors in the world of numismatics. It's important to understand that the United Kingdom, while a member of the European Union, at the time, never adopted the euro as its official currency. That said, the concept of a 20 euro cent piece with UK-related features presents an irresistible fantasy scenario, one where historical divergence meets rare minting. If a coin like this exists, even as a pattern, test strike, or fantasy issue created by a private mint, it would represent an extremely rare specimen whose value could soar far beyond ordinary. Collector standards. Such a coin would exist in a world of numismatic anomalies, those rare, often one-of-a-kind pieces that command attention simply because they defy logic or rewrite a chapter of monetary history. Imagine a 2001 UK 20 euro cent coin struck as a proposal for Britain's potential integration into the Eurozone. It may carry the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse and the standard Eurocentric map on the reverse, perhaps merged with British emblems such as the Union Jack, Britannia, or even St. George's Cross. Such a coin would be a visual masterpiece, symbolizing a historic political and economic what-if moment. If minted, the coin's specifications would likely mirror the standard Euro 20 cent, which includes a diameter of approximately 22.25 millimeters and a mass of about 5.74 grams. It would most probably be struck in Nordic golden alloy of copper, aluminum, zinc, and tin design for durability and aesthetic brilliance. A coin like this in uncirculated or proof condition could dazzle with fine finishes, mirror-like fields, frosted devices, and a serrated or uniquely inscribed edge to enhance its visual appeal. Some fantasy pieces are even enhanced with gold plating or silver layering to further elevate their collector value. Now, consider its origin. If the coin was minted by a respected European private mint, or even as a governmental trial piece that never saw mass production, its authenticity and legitimacy as a collector's item would be incredibly strong. The coin could be part of a limited series, perhaps under 100 pieces distributed privately or held by a small circle of diplomats, mint officials, or elite collectors. In numismatics, this level of scarcity creates immediate buzz and inflates values exponentially, especially when attached to major world events or shifts in global economies like the EU expansion. The year 2001 is a significant date. It was a time of political speculation in Britain about whether to adopt the euro. A fantasy or trial coin from that year would serve as a symbolic artifact representing an alternate monetary path. For a collector who values not just rarity, but historical symbolism and political significance, such a coin would be a dream find. These emotional and symbolic factors are what often drive private auction prices into the hundreds of thousands or even millions. especially if the coin is tied to a lost future or controversial decision in national history. Authentication would be the next critical piece in unlocking its value. A grading service such as NGC or PCGS, certifying the coin as a legitimate fantasy piece, in pristine Proof 70 or MS70 condition, would instantly elevate its desirability. Even in lower grades, the fact that it exists at all would draw tremendous interest. Museums, high net worth investors, and institutions with collections focusing on British-European relations would all become potential buyers, driving up demand and commanding sky-high price tags that easily reach into 6 or 7 figures. Collectors often seek what is unique, unattainable, and loaded with narrative value. A UK 20 coin from 2001 would check every one of those boxes. If accompanied by a certificate of authenticity or provenance linking it to a former official, mint insider, or private designer with connections to the Royal Mint or European numismatic circles, its value would be compounded further. The buzz it would create in numismatic exhibitions, YouTube coin review channels, and social media coin communities could spark viral attention, further inflating its worth due to increased visibility. In some rare cases, coins not officially circulated have fetched more than government-issued currency. Think of the 1933 Double Eagle or the 2007 Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Diadem. Test pieces both skyrocketed in value due to their legal intrigue and historical weight. A UK 20 coin from 2001 could join that same pantheon of mythical coins, especially if it's confirmed to exist in microscopic quantities and was struck with advanced technology or in secret, adding an aura of mystery. If such a coin were to go up for auction at a major house like Heritage Auctions, Bonhams, or Sotheby's, the bidding war could be fierce. Private collectors with a love for Euro currency history or British memorabilia would line up for a chance to own what many might call the ghost coin of Europe. This isn't just about metal or mintage, it's about owning the embodiment of a decision Britain never took, frozen forever in a brilliant strike of possibility. Ultimately, the UK 20 2001 fantasy coin is more than a collector's piece. A conversation starter, a fragment of alternate history, and possibly $1 million artifact. Whether kept in a vault or proudly displayed, it would be the crown jewel in any advanced coin collection. If you're fortunate enough to find one, or verify its existence, you won't just be holding a coin, you'll be holding a fortune forged in imagination and minted in historical magic. The idea of a UK 10 coin from 2012 instantly captures the imagination of coin collectors and history lovers alike. The United Kingdom never officially adopted the euro currency, despite being a member of the European Union for decades. Therefore, a coin bearing the denomination of 10 with any connection to the UK is, by all historical accounts, a fantasy or unofficial issue. But that very impossibility is what gives such a coin its incredible allure and potential. For astronomical value, in the numismatic world, it's often the rarest and most unusual pieces that fetch the highest bids, not because they were meant for circulation, but because they weren't. If a UK 10 coin from 2012 truly exists, it would fall into the realm of trial strikes, pattern coins, or privately minted fantasy issues. These are typically produced in limited numbers, sometimes by private mints, as conceptual pieces. Such coins might never have been intended for use in public commerce, but instead, to demonstrate what could have been if Britain had taken the path of full euro integration. That makes such a coin not only a rare metal object, but a piece of alternate history. The year 2012 is significant because it marked a peak in Eurozone tension during the debt crisis, yet Britain held firm to the pound, creating a sharp contrast. That such a coin could symbolically capture, the design of such a coin would undoubtedly be extraordinary. Imagine the obverse displaying the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, perhaps with a new or altered design to reflect the European context, encircled by stars representing the EU nations. The reverse, likely inspired by the traditional euro design, might be modified to incorporate iconic British imagery, such as the Royal Shield, Big Ben, or a lion rampant, blended with the standard EU map and 10 euro cent denomination. Such artistic fusion would make it stand out instantly from regular euro coinage, and its visual uniqueness would fuel collector demand. Specifications would likely mirror standard 10 euro cent coins, an approximate diameter of 19.75 millimeters, thickness of 1.93 millimeters, and a weight of about 4.10 grams. The alloy would most probably be Nordic gold, a copper-based alloy known for its durability and distinctive golden color. Minting quality would be crucial. Proof or uncirculated finishes, with frosted designs and mirror fields, would vastly increase the coin's appeal and value. Edge designs may include fine reading or even hidden inscriptions, details that numismatists obsess over when ranking rarity and desirability. Provenance is what truly drives prices skyward in the rare coin market. If this UK 10 euro cent 2012 coin originated from an official source, perhaps a trial piece struck at the Royal Mint as part of an experimental EU program, it could be worth hundreds of thousands or even millions. Even if produced by a respected private mint with extremely limited circulation, its value remains sky-high due to its scarcity and rich narrative. Collectors covet stories, and few coins tell a story as loaded with political and historical drama as a British euro coin that never came to be. Authenticity is paramount. Reputable grading companies like PCGS or NGC would play a critical role in evaluating the coin's legitimacy and condition. A high-grade certified piece mint state 70, or proof 70, would be considered the pinnacle of perfection. Such certification also reassures collectors that what they're buying is a legitimate issue and not a novelty token. Grading adds trust, and in the world of high-stakes numismatics, trust is everything. With a certificate and encapsulation, this coin would instantly enter the elite category of global coin collectibles. Theoretical value in the current market could be astonishing. Given recent trends where rare fantasy and pattern coins have fetched upwards of $1 million, such as the 2000 Sacagawea dollar mule error, or certain euro pattern sets, a UK 10 euro cent coin from 2012 could become one of the most desirable modern rarities. Add to that the emotional and historical value associated with the coin, and it becomes a treasure that transcends its face value. This is not just a coin, it is a what-if scenario frozen in time and minted in metal. If such a coin were ever auctioned at a premier venue like Sotheby's, Heritage Auctions, or Bonhams, it could ignite a global bidding war. Investors, historians, and ultra-wealthy collectors would scramble to own such a relic of geopolitical imagination. The price would be driven not just by its material composition, but by the emotional and symbolic impact it holds. It represents a parallel Britain that walked a different path. A speculative economy turned tangible through coinage. For any collector fortunate enough to own or even discover this coin, the possibilities are truly limitless. Whether held in a private collection featured in museum exhibitions or displayed at global coin shows, it would attract immense attention and be spoken of with reverence. Social media buzz, YouTube reviews, and coin forum debates would only add to its fame and push its value higher with each passing year. Ultimately, UK 10 euro cent from 2012 is more than a numismatic curiosity. It's a piece of unrealized history, a metallic embodiment of European unity and British independence woven into a single artifact. Whether it was created as a fantasy coin, a private issue, or a test strike with an unknown origin, its uniqueness guarantees it a place in the pantheon of the most mysterious and potentially valuable coins of the modern era. If it exists and is confirmed, it wouldn't just be a collector's item, it would be a multi-million-dollar legend. The idea of a UK 10 euro cent coin dated 2008 stirs a deep intrigue among both seasoned collectors and those newly fascinated by the world of rare coins. While the United Kingdom was still part of the European Union in 2008, it had never adopted the euro as its official currency. This means any coin bearing a UK identity in the euro denomination would not have been for official circulation, making it an anomaly in the eyes of numismatists. If such a coin does exist, whether as a fantasy piece, test strike, or ultra-limited private issue, its rarity and the story it tells would place it among the most valuable modern coins ever conceived. A 2008 UK 10 euro cent coin would be a fantasy. Forged in the fires of political speculation and monetary experimentation, 2008 was a particularly tense year in global finance. With the economic crisis triggering unprecedented events across Europe, for Britain this was a turning point, a moment of reinforced commitment to the British pound, even as the Eurozone reeled. A coin from this year bearing euro markings with British symbolism could represent a lost opportunity or a parallel history, which dramatically amplifies its emotional and collectible value. Such a coin wouldn't just be a minting error or an obscure release, it would be a historical metaphor etched in metal. The design of a 2008 UK 10 euro cent coin would likely be a fusion of two powerful identities. The obverse may carry a stylized portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, potentially surrounded by the 12 stars of the European Union. On the reverse, the traditional Eurocentric map could be intertwined with distinctly British emblems, perhaps the Tudor Rose, a lion passant, or even the Tower of London, all striking symbols of British heritage. These visual cues would make the coin instantly stand out from any officially minted euro coin, and the attention to artistic detail would enhance its prestige in the eyes of collectors. From a technical standpoint, the coin would likely follow the physical specifications of standard 10 euro cent pieces across Europe. That means a diameter of approximately 19.75 millimeters, a thickness of 1.93 millimeters, and a weight around 4.10 grams. The alloy would most certainly be Nordic gold, a copper aluminum zinc tin, blend known for its resistance to tarnish and striking golden hue. In high-grade versions, particularly proof or mint state specimens, the coin could display immaculate craftsmanship with mirror-like surfaces and frosted reliefs. The edge might feature fine milling or an experimental pattern to enhance authenticity and security. If the coin originated from a respected private mint or was struck as an official pattern by the Royal Mint for evaluation purposes, and scarcity would elevate its value to extraordinary levels. Even if produced unofficially, its uniqueness and historical symbolism would capture the attention of global collectors. Imagine a mintage of only 25 or 50 pieces distributed among diplomats, financial analysts, or retained in royal or governmental archives. That kind of origin story is pure gold for collectors, and it would instantly push the coin into the multi-$100,000 or even $1,000,000 tier at auction. Authentication would be essential to unlock the coin's full value. Leading grading companies like NGC and PCGS would need to examine and encapsulate the coin, verifying both its origin and condition. A perfect MS70 or PR70 grade would skyrocket its appeal, adding a protective layer of trust that opens the door to elite collectors, investors, and even museums. Certificates of authenticity, letters from mint officials, or provenance tracing it back to a higher-ranking EU or UK figure would add an immeasurable premium to its final valuation. The story behind the coin is as important as the coin itself. The year 2008 was rife with speculation over Britain's financial future. Would the country ever give up the pound? A coin struck in that moment, bearing both British and Euro symbolism, is not just a collectible, it's a relic of political tension and global economic realignment. That depth of meaning can't be faked or replicated, and it's precisely what turns a coin from a simple object into a conversation piece, a display treasure, and ultimately a multi-million-dollar artifact. Auction scenarios for such a coin would be absolutely electric. Whether sold at Sotheby's, Bonhams, or Heritage auctions, the buzz would be immense. Coin forums would explode with speculation. Numismatic YouTube channels would dissect every detail, and private collectors would quietly prepare seven-figure bids for a chance to own what many would call the what-if coin of Britain. Even the media might pick up the story, further amplifying its visibility and cementing its place in the upper echelons of rare coin lore. The potential for long-term appreciation is almost guaranteed. A coin like this is not tied to bullion value or inflation. It's anchored in story, mystery, scarcity, and visual beauty. Ease. These are the pillars that ensure longevity and numismatic prestige. It would likely remain a centerpiece of any collection, gaining value year after year as both a symbolic piece of European British history and a tangible representation of unrealized political possibilities. In the end, UK 10 euro cent coin from 2008 isn't merely a rare coin, it's a time capsule, a question mark struck in metal, and a collector's holy grail. Whether it's held in private or displayed for public awe, its value goes far beyond its material. It lies in its ability to spark the imagination, tell a story of global divergence, and serve as a crown jewel in the history of modern European. The mysterious notion of a UK 10 euro cent coin dated 2002 instantly captivates the imagination of collectors and historians alike. In the grand world of numismatics, such a coin, if it exists, would not just be rare, but a powerful symbol of a historic crossroads. While the United Kingdom remained part of the European Union during that time, it never adopted the euro currency, having opted instead to retain the British pound sterling. Therefore, a 10 euro cent coin with distinct UK characteristics would not have entered circulation officially. This hypothetical or fantasy coin transforms into an object of intense desire, especially among those drawn to political symbolism, limited mintage, and alternative histories etched in metal. The year 2002 marked a significant turning point for the euro. It was the first year the euro became the official physical currency across many EU member states, replacing national currencies like the French franc, Deutschmark, and Italian lira. The UK, however, stood apart, resisting the wave of change and reaffirming its commitment to its sovereign currency. A coin bearing the denomination of 10 euro cent and adorned with British emblems. From this year would be an extraordinary artifact of parallel timeline captured in brass. This makes its imagined or limited existence even more enthralling. With layers of historical weight and monetary mythology packed into its small frame, if such a coin were created, whether by a government mint, as a test strike, or a private mint, as a fantasy issue, it would likely showcase a masterful blend of UK and Euro design elements. One might imagine the obverse featuring Queen Elizabeth II, as on standard UK coinage, surrounded by the 12 EU stars. The reverse could retain the familiar European map featured on Euro coins. Uniquely integrated with British symbols such as the Union Jack, the Royal Arms, or an image of Britannia. These artistic touches would not only set the coin apart visually but deepen its symbolic value, transforming it into a numismatic relic of what might have been. In terms of physical specifications, a 2002 UK 10 euro cent coin would likely follow the standard for 10 euro cent coins used across the continent. That would include a diameter of 19.75 millimeters, a thickness of 1.93 millimeters, and a weight of around 4.10 grams. The alloy would be Nordic Golda copper-based mixture designed for durability, corrosion resistance, and its attractive golden color. A version in proof condition might boast ultra-sharp strikes, mirror-like fields, and frosted reliefs. Features that high-end collectors actively seek. Unique minting techniques such as laser frosting or micro-inscriptions could further heighten the coin's desirability and authenticity. The coin's origins would play a central role in its valuation. If it was a confidential test piece by the Royal Mint or a collaborative project between UK and EU mint authorities that never reached the public, its value would be exponentially higher. Alternatively, if minted by a reputable private mint in very limited quantities as a fantasy or a commemorative coin, it would still possess enormous collector appeal, particularly if accompanied by certificates of authenticity and official documentation proving its rarity and original intent. These factors elevate the coin from mere metal to a historic and narrative treasure. Scarcity, as always, is a major driver of value. Suppose fewer than 50 pieces of this coin exist, possibly distributed quietly to European central banks, diplomats, or high-level mint officials as part of exploratory discussions. Over time, these few pieces could have been lost, destroyed, or tucked away in private collections. The resurfacing of even one would send shockwaves through the numismatic community. Such a rediscovery would not only be seen as a revelation, but it could also spark international interest in a multi-million-dollar bidding war among elite collectors. Museums and financial institutions eager to own a piece of hypothetical monetary history. Authentication by leading grading agencies like PCGS or NGC would be essential to unlocking its highest value. Once encapsulated in a protective slab and assigned a top-tier grade like MS70 or PR70, the coin's prestige would multiply. The value of such authenticated coins can skyrocket simply due to their certified condition and the credibility that professional grading provides. Furthermore, being featured in major numismatic exhibitions or documented in catalogs would solidify the coin's position as a legendary piece. Not just within British or Euro currency collections, but across all global numismatic categories. What adds even more allure to the 2002 UK 10 euro cent fantasy coin is its profound narrative potential. Collectors are not merely buying metal, they're buying stories, symbolism, and speculative timelines. This coin tells the story of a moment when two paths diverged in history, one where Britain joined the euro, one where it didn't. This artifact, real or imagined, encapsulates that pivotal decision in tangible form. It would be considered a political statement, a historic souvenir, and a collector's holy grail all at once, attributes that no ordinary coin can replicate. If placed in a high-profile auction at Sotheby's Heritage Auctions or Bonhams, the coin could fetch astronomical figures. The auction house would likely craft a grand narrative around its presentation, emphasizing its rarity, symbolism, and alternate history allure. The bidding floor would attract elite collectors, royal enthusiasts, historians, and investment moguls, who understand the long-term value of culturally rich numismatic pieces. As demand escalates and availability remains near zero, the price could very realistically enter the seven-figure territory, making headlines around the world. In the final analysis, a UK 10 euro cent coin from 2002, regardless of whether it is officially recognized, privately minted, or exists in myth, represents a fusion of economics, politics, and artistry. It isn't merely a coin. It's a conversation frozen in time, a relic of divergence, and potentially one of the most valuable modern collectibles ever conceived. If you happen upon one, or can trace its provenance, consider yourself among the rarest of collectors holding not just currency, but a piece of a parallel world, a fortune in gold alloy, and a legacy forged in possibility.